Welcome back, guys. I'm Dilrod96. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and ring the notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest content. Today is the overview for the Major 2 Week 4 qualifier matches. Instead of going through all of them throughout the weekend, because that's a lot of them to pull up on Breaking Point, a lot of tabs, we'll just look at the pick'ems and see what I got right and wrong, and then we'll take a look at the Fantasy League. Friday, Cloud9 versus Vancouver Surge, 3-1. Called that one not a very exciting match, if I do say so myself. FaZe Vegas versus LA went to a round 5 where Scrap and Hydra were both actively throwing. LA definitely could have won this match. FaZe take the victory 3-2. And then to wrap up Friday, we had G2 Minnesota versus the Miami Heretics. Miami pulling out a big 3-0. G2 just kind of got belt. Luckily, though, for G2 and not for my sake, G2 start off Saturday with a big 3-0 on the Paris Gentlemates. Now, I do believe some of that is due to them not having a week of pro scrims leading up to this weekend's matches, and I think some of that has to do with Dylan Envoy. Now, once again, I'm not going to pull up the stats here. If you're interested, you can go to Breaking Point and you can pull up the stats for this match. Envoy has had a rough outing since the major. He did really well at the major. Since the major 1, Envoy is just not showing up. I would wait till after the major, see what happens on LAN, but I mean, you have to get points online to make it to champs, so you got to figure out where that line is, whether or not you're going to cross it. If General Mace is going to pull the trigger on somebody, I would find somebody for Dylan Envoy. Next up, we had FaZe Vegas versus Optic Texas. Once again, FaZe kind of a bounce back series against LA. They go down quick 3-0 fashion to Optic Texas. Next up, we had the Riyadh Falcons up against Toronto Koi. I had Koi taking this 3-1 completely backwards. Riyadh, give it to KOI. I think a lot of this really has to do with Toronto's map pool, their like depth of maps that they're comfortable on. However, I think now is a good time for them to figure that out, especially bringing in Kips. So they look really, really good on Din. That's going to be a lot of teams auto veto against them. So, and if it's not, KOI is going to take it to them. But I think now is a good wake up call for them. I think Riyadh played really good Saturday. I think KOI had some struggles with their map pool, and I think we will see a bounce back from them outside of what we see on Sunday, of course. Last match of Saturday, we had the Boston Breach going up against Cloud9 New York. Boston Breach take it 3-1 over Cloud9. Going into Sunday, we start off the day LA Thieves versus the Miami Heretics. I know I put LA 3-1. I really thought this was going to be a big bounce back for them. It wasn't. Super just looked sick with the sniper and search and destroy. I remember Miami goes up 2 maps. LA picks 2 maps. It goes to a map 5, and Super just looks phenomenal. In search and destroy, Trax is looking good. Rancor is looking good. Metals is still a little hit or miss, but that's kind of what you're expecting from him, and he's doing his thing whenever he's doing his thing. Following that, we have the Boston Breach versus KOI. Not a big surprise here. 3-0 going to Toronto. I think Boston still needs to make an SMG change. I mean, we're not going to drop Nasty. We just brought on Spartan. He's doing well. We've seen improvement, but we're still not seeing consistency from Purge or Snoopy. Snoopy's had a couple better series here this past weekend, but I don't know. Snoopy's supposed to be this all-star SMG, and he's just not putting down the numbers. So that's where I would start. If you can make a two-man change, I'd make a two-man change, even before the major. Following that, we had Optic Texas versus the Carolina Royal Ravens. Optic take it 3-1 over Carolina. I think Carolina is a team that they have potential if Craze and Lurks and Nero and Exceed are all on the same wavelength. I think they can put it together. They really like those knockout maps. So just like the map 1 that they won, it was a Blackheart. Blackheart and Colossus are going to be their bread and butter. They like to play with pace, but teams know that they're going to have to expand their map pool and be a little bit more consistent in the respawns before we really see them taking some serious series. And then wrapping up the weekend, we had the Paris Gentlemates up against the Vancouver Surge. In my head, once again, I know they're not having no pro scrims or anything. G2, good team, solid team, top 4, top 6 team, definitely. Probably more like a top 4 team, realistically. Gentlemates, surely we bounce back on Vancouver Surge. Wrong. With the addition of Capsidal, with TJ, Gwyn, and Lunars, Vancouver Surge take it 3-0 over the Paris Gentlemates, and that's where I draw the line and say we need to make a change. I understand if you want to wait till after the major, see what happens in all the elites and all the Challengers Cups, but Paris Gentlemates need to turn it around at this LAN, or they need to make a change, because it's just not happening. We will do a video later in the week going over the upcoming matches for week 5, the 13th through the 15th. And now we'll take a look at the fantasy matches. We had Corbin versus Jadin, and Corbin, it's a tie, actual. Interesting. So it'll be interesting to see what Breaking Point does for that tiebreaker, if it just gives them is there a tie? Oh, there is a tie spot. So yeah, look at tie points. Me against Nick, my brother. Give me that fat W, 19 out of 28 categories. Next we had Chris versus Full. Chris barely picking it out. A lot of this is because of Rancor in the Miami series. And Pred had a pretty good series. Mercules. A little bit slower on the numbers recently. But hey, if you're a little bit slower and you can get Dashy, Shotzi, and Hook to pick it up, and Hook's playing lights out, it happens. There's only so many kills to go around. And lastly, we had Styx against COD Father. Styx able to pull out the victory, probably with that LA Thieves victory. Yeah, the FaZe victory over LA Thieves with Simp in 04. I don't know what to think about this FaZe team. I think that victories over teams like the Thieves are like, okay, yeah, like they're doing all right, but the Thieves are not where they need to be either. I would like to see either an 0-4 or a draws a change out of them after the major. I understand them wanting to wait till the major, but Aluka has his visa. A lot of people are saying he's not ready yet. He's not developed enough. I mean, hey, I think Simp can develop a SMG or a Flex just as good as anyone else can over in Challengers. So we'll see what they end up doing. But Styx taking the big victory from there. The standings will not be updated until tomorrow, but you get the general idea with the standings. Once again, guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and ring the notification bell to stay up to date with all the new content. We will be going live and posting an Arc Raiders video. It'll be the final Is Gaming Fun variant of Arc Raiders. And then I think we'll probably start throwing that into the regular rotation, and we'll talk about that in the video. So if you want to know more about that, don't forget to check out that video later this week. Y'all have a great night. God bless. Stay frosty.